what advice maybe would you have for other creative artists who are making a career in music as an original artist or a creative person?
Yeah. So first thing I would say is create. You got to create. You got to get to a place where you are able to create every single day. Like if you want to be a professional creative, then you have to create, and your creativity can't be dependent on how you feel. If it is, you'll go through periods where you can't create, and then if you can't create, you won't be able to make money. If you can't make money, you won't be able to stay a professional, right? So there's two parts of it. There's the business part, there's the creative part. You have to make sure you're feeding both parts, because just because you can do stuff that's creative and make an income doesn't mean that's necessarily what you want to do. You can definitely easily get into a place where you're generating a nice income with your creative skill sets, but you're not happy with your life. And then you check out and you become stagnant or stale, and you're not present and you're not happy with your life. And even though this thing that brings you all this happiness and all this purpose in your life is on the appearance to be the driving force or to be what you're doing for your career, it may not feel like that, and the feeling is really important. So regardless of what you have to do to get to the place where you can be your own boss, or you can focus on your own creative work as your primary mission, you're gonna have to work for other people. So that's gonna look like, it can look like you got a job pushing shopping carts and stocking shelves, and or teaching music lessons, or or you're doing the regular church gig, or you're doing like something educational with an institution that you also maybe have a band. You also maybe have like music that you make by yourself. You gotta have kind of clarity in how you want to show up as an artist, which takes some time to figure out and develop. But in the meantime, you always want to make sure that when you're doing things for other people, you're moving towards a direction of what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're working at the sub shop making sub sandwiches, which I've been there, then you gotta still be the best employee at the sub shop you can without getting fired. But if it comes down to you got to get fired because you got to play this gig tonight, and you can't stop paying attention to work because you're writing song lyrics down, you know what I'm saying? Then get fired. You know what I'm saying? Do a good job, but don't do too good of a job. You end up being the general manager of the region at, White Castle or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't lose your focus. Like, make sure that there's always a plan of what you're doing for your career as an original artist. So and promote that like that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell people when somebody asks you what you do, don't say I wash dishes and I'm also a musician. Just say you're a musician. And if they ask too many questions, just ask them a question instead of answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, because musicians, like, I can't say, you already know. When you tell somebody, oh, I'm a professional musician, they'd be like, what else do you do? I'd be like, that's it. I mean, sometimes I model, or sometimes I act, or sometimes, I take pictures for other people, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll do anything creative that I can to generate an income, because I'd rather do that than sit at a cubicle or call somebody and ask them if they need insurance, and it's no knock on those things. Like, obviously we need people to do that, or people want to do that. I don't know. But that's not what I want to do. So I always tell people, make sure that you have investment every day on your thing. Every day. Like, don't make excuses. Like, people who make excuses don't get anywhere. Everybody has a tough situation. Everybody's got a conditional factors or decisions that they made that put them in a predicament that has created a difficult situation for themselves. Some people have made more difficult decisions or put themselves in more difficult positions that may be a lot more effort to get out of or get into, like what they want to do from where they are. But if you look at the history of creatives and people's success stories, most of the time, the best artists are the people who come from dirt poor, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like they were starving, they were about to quit. They were like, they were unsuccessful many times. They were told they couldn't do it. They were, you know what I'm saying? Like the greatest artists are the ones born from the ashes, the ones who raise up through the concrete, and they're a flower. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy path, and it's not a path for somebody who is not super serious about discipline and commitment to the practice. And the practice isn't just when you sit down at your instrument and play. The practice is the entire walk of life that you exemplify in your being, you know, and that's intense. That is an intense thing, and it's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can walk in the life of a creative if they're not willing to surrender and sacrifice certain things like family, things like a social life, things like you know, maybe a significant other, things like maybe having kids, things like, you know, making choices not to spend your money on material objects, and instead you buy intangible things like recording time and mp3s that you made. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's a real serious, I guess, kind of commitment. So, you know, if the people are young or whatever, I would say just follow your intuition and experience, but recognize that if that's what you really feel called to do, every step of the way you're going to feel resistance, and the world is going to try to make you quit. Like, and it's going to and unless you're just blessed to come from a situation where you got support financially from you know, whether you were just born into a family where you got resources around you, or you're able to like procure a lot of money, say maybe doing a different type of business. Like I know some of my musician friends, they got into real estate like right out of college. They figured out that game, and then they used that to fund their music. You know, some other friends, they did some other things. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like you gotta figure out how you're gonna support your life, just paying your bills, and then how you can support your career's life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm sitting here and I'm single and I don't got no kids, you know, and people are like, oh man, of course you got all this time, and we're so jealous of you because this, that, and the other thing. It's like you don't realize that you're dismissing me not having these things as if it's not a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? You're saying it to me as if you having a kid wasn't your choice. You know what I'm saying? Or you choosing to do these things or not discipline yourself and say, yo, you know what? I'm not going to drink anymore because I need to practice more, because I got to wake up earlier when I drink every night. Can't get up and get the practice I need to get in. You know what I'm saying? So I know if I just quit drinking, I can do it. And then, you know, like, are you willing to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how willing are you to make sacrifices? That's what it takes to get in anywhere you want to go, not just music, but in any, especially in a creative discipline, like regardless of if it's music or if it's photography or if it's painting or theater, dance, whatever. If you pick that path, you just picked a path that the world has stacked it against you to be successful. And but it's, I don't say that in a discouraging way. I say that in a liberating way, because once you know that and you realize that your greatest obstacle is to be creative, then you're liberated, because now it's like, okay, when the pandemic happened, I had to be the most creative I've ever been in my whole life. Creative with my work, creative with my finances, creative with how I spent money. You know what I'm saying? Creative with who I was in network with, who I was contacting, you know, and it was like it wasn't a shock to me, honestly, because it was more like, okay, when have you not been on the ropes swinging for your life? You know what I'm saying? I've been behind on rent before. You know what I'm saying? I had the lights cut off before. You know what I'm saying? I almost didn't have a place to stay before. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of dedication that it takes. Like, are you willing to be homeless? Like, because you might be, and if you can say at the end of the day that you pushed all in and you gave it your best shot and you ended up homeless, can you sit with that and live with that and know that that's good enough for you, rather than be the on the other side where it's like you got a 6-figure income and you got a nice boat that you get to drive a few times a year, and you got a fancy car that you got to pay for. You know what I'm saying? You got stuff, but you don't got time. You know what I'm saying? You don't got, and I just think that basically it comes down to you're willing to discipline yourself, and that's that's not a skill set that the institution known as the education system necessarily teaches people. Like, uh, but if you want to be good at anything, it takes a level of self-discipline that and accountability that can only be acquired and implemented through experience over and over again of trial and error, and it's like, dude, if we had to say how much stuff we messed up or how many opportunities we blew, or like when we were too much of a rookie to see what we had going was a good thing and messed it up trying to do what we thought was the right thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like those are the stories that you just have to believe that everything you do is in direction to your ascension of success, and that success is defined by you, really. I mean, if you can pay your bills and be creative, you made it. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Like, no matter what you do, no matter how many things you have to do to pull it together, like if you live a life in a creative skill set job, then you made it. You know what I mean? Because the game is stacked up. There are no guaranteed jobs. There is no like you do this and then you get this. You know what I'm saying? It's not like another profession, like a doctor or a lawyer or something, where there's a market and there's a job for you and there's a pay grade scale to go off of. It's literally like, you know, you're worth as much as you say you're worth, and you better be able to back it up no matter what you say, so it's a growth process of understanding inside of yourself, like, what am I about, who am I, what do I want to exemplify in my walk, in my being, how does that relate to myself as an artist, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to figure yourself out. That's a whole nother thing. You got to figure yourself out, then you got to figure your art out, then you got to figure out how to make money off all that and not sell yourself out, you know? So it's like, it's a process, and I'm 36 years old and I still don't have everything figured out. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I ever will. But the process of going along the journey and figuring it out is so addictively fun that I like am willing to be the guy with the clown suit on. I'm willing to be the nail that gets hammered first. I'm willing to be the one that falls down and makes the example and gets back up and does it again better. You know what I'm saying? It takes that type of personality, it takes that type of action and habitual behavior. And for me, the only way I've found that is to just literally do stuff scared, do stuff with a lot of anxiety, try things and be uncomfortable, be humiliated, get made fun of, look stupid. You know what I'm saying? If you're willing to do all that stuff, you'll make it like 100%. And it's not for everybody, but if it's for you, you know it.
Right on, man. That's a there's a lot of power in there, a lot of wisdom, a lot of things. It's sad, it can be intense, but it's just like you said, if you know, and it doesn't have to feel so scary. But it's important to stick true to who you are, and to actually live your destiny as is already. You can feel it. That's what we say. It's like, trust your intuition, go with it, no fear, follow through, be your unique, authentic, creative self.
Yes.
And like you said earlier, if everybody just like, your love is enough. And to love enough means you got to love yourself And if I'm a musician and I know I got to play every single day because that's just what I got to do, I got self respect by disciplining myself to be able to do that. That's self
Yeah,
respect and love. Just, like you said, going against the odds and doing whatever it is that you want to do. There's odds everywhere. It doesn't matter. So don't let other potentials even interrupt the possibility of failure or this or that.
totally. Like, don't have a B plan. I hate when people say that. Like,
Plan
they're
B,
like,
I know.
"What's your back?" Like, you hear it when you get out of college or high school or whatever, and then people are like, "So if music doesn't work out, like, what are you thinking? Like, what's your backup plan?" Or like, "Oh, have you thought about how you're actually going to make money doing that?" Like, I've had strangers to close family members, you know, come with that type of energy. And I guess it's just like being willing to, you know, not hear that and know that like you're gonna make it no matter what. Like you're gonna make it and you're gonna figure it out and you don't have a plan B. Because if you have a plan B, it's gonna be real, there are gonna be those moments where it's gonna be really easy for plan B to become plan A because plan A is going to take some time to develop and there's going to be doors shut in your face and there's going to be times where you fall down, there's going to be times where you're uncertain and you don't know how it's going to work out. But if you just stay integral to yourself and you trust and you have faith that the belief of you desiring and wanting and acting and moving in motion towards that thing is enough. And if you align that with love in an unconditional way, whether that's you believe in God or you believe in the idea of God or you believe in a higher power or higher self or great spirit or you believe in the universe or you believe that there's something conspiring for you in goodness and that thing has your best interest, you can call it whatever you want. But if you believe that idea, whether you believe that that entity that you're talking about is actually a real thing, if you believe that that idea is real, it'll work for you 100% of the time.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's how we harmonize the planet, raise the consciousness.
Yes.
Ah, dude, thank you so much for joining me and sharing so much amazing thoughts. I'm so excited for everybody to hear this. I know they're going to love it. And knowing how, with your aspirations and your self-discipline and the way you're carrying yourself, man, it's amazing to know you and to it's like right now this is like history because in 10 years it's going to be hilarious. Where you will go, who knows, but I know that
Bro,
gonna get those Grammys soon, bro.
that means a lot to me, man, and I feel the same way about you, bro. You are such a light and a love here in our community and beyond. Now I know your celebrity secret status is out, and like, dude,
Uh-oh.
you and everything that you bring when you're out cross pollinating the world and bringing about these new methods for education and this new energy, all this cool stuff that you've told me about, with the Kung Fu Music School and monastery and just like, dude, just everything you exemplify through your being and also your music with Anna. It's like so cool, man. And you like truly, you all are one of my favorite bands in town. And it's an honor for me to know you as well and to be really close friends and to be collaborating, creating together here.
Thank you so much. Yes, I will be getting you guys out. Anna and I are going to be moving to Bulgaria soon, and we do plan on hosting some very large music festivals in the mountains. And two cities, one world means Sofia and St. Louis. And eventually, I'm gonna might do my best to bring a bunch of St. Louis artists to Bulgaria, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So be ready
Yes.
to go and perform. And
I'm ready, man. I already got my passport right over here.
there you go. Get your passport, everybody.
Let's
Be
go.
ready. But anyway, thanks again, man. I appreciate you. Everybody go to ryanmarquez.com, check out his music, buy his albums, listen on repeat, listen to the full album all in its entirety a few times at least, you know what I mean? And enjoy. Because Ryan has so many great things to offer and so many different categories of music. Lullaby, beautiful lullaby music, jazz, hip hop, quick pop, hip hop, all kinds of amazing things from so many places. So make sure to get his music, dig in. And anyway, thank you guys so much. All right, Ryan. Catch you next time, dude.
Yeah, thanks, Jared. Really appreciate it, bro.